I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of the future of sound, the future of hearables.
Mm,
We're hearing about this innovative work that you've been doing with full body listening, with immersive sound and haptics. You know, we're in a world where in the last 10 years we've seen changes to the way that we experience music with hearables and wearables and now products out there that are haptic devices. A lot of the work that I do is in virtual reality and immersive experience and how does that blend in, 360-degree sound. What do you see on the horizon for sound and music? Not just even from a technological standpoint, but just sort of in terms of experience. You produce, you are, an entertainer. What do you see in the future, next 5 years?
I mean, what I hope to see is more people like us, like you, more opportunities such as this one to invite people to connect and to talk about it, because that will create the rippling effect that is needed to start implanting new type of perhaps sound systems for creators to start thinking of sound not as an after add-on but as a primary subject to treat. There's been so many people I've talked to, like all those awesome, audio engineer and editors and everything. And it's like, if only I was given that chance, only once, just give it one to me. And it's like, but why not? I think we've been treating visual first, which is great, and it served us. But I also feel there's an overstimulation right now going on. I mean, there's this, you know, sound can really bring us somewhere deep and somewhere that in really little time can, allow us to reset and to relax. And I keep bringing the relaxation because we're all super anxious. And I think as if the entire world can just take it down a notch, thanks to sound experiences that are pretty much everywhere. When you go to your grocery store, when you go, to an hotel or whatever, like the sound, there's always sound. So what is it? What are those sounds or frequencies or tracks that we can create that can allow people, as soon as they step into a space, to go like, whew, because I believe it is possible. I truly, truly believe it's possible. And then in the entertainment business, like you said it, and I think there's amazing technology out there. Is it used to the benefit of serving beyond the entertainment? And now that we think that we could go beyond it, again, I don't have all the answers to it, but I'm definitely curious about it. And I've been having amazing talks with other people that seem to be in that same, in that same alignment. So now that we know that, what can we do? Because entertainment to me is the number one way to bring people together by itself. If you make people laugh, if you make people even cry, if you bring beautiful visual and whatsoever, like again, it brings people somewhere different. So we're all, entertainment has always been very important in that, in self-development and creativity and openness and all, and sharing with the ones we love, like different experiences, or even meeting people we've never met through it. So how can sound help that at a level that goes, again, beyond scratching the surface? I think that's where I would hope that we could be, that it's maybe less about technology, and I might get nasty calls after that one, but maybe a little bit more about content. That would be it's my call to action, because I think on the technology side of things, there's so much awesome tools out there, but the purpose of them maybe can be rethought of, or maybe there's other ways to recycle them so that they can offer something that can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think that sentiment of content being something that needs to be brought up, something that's needs to be a bigger part of the conversation than just the technology on its own is so important.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that it's hard to have that conversation when so much of what we see is buy this, here's this new product on the market, here are these things, and it's not, oh, well, what are we doing with that? And I think that there are
Right.
some things that have been happening in the past few years. I think that the hearables, the wearables, the battle for our ears between the different companies with their wireless headphones has been quite fascinating to watch. And then something like Apple and the spatial sound coming in, where it's about the content and now it's about the artist and the experience, not just about the technology on its own, is such an important thing to be aware of and for people to recognize. And I think what you're doing is really a part of that same vein. It's this connection between what the technology can do, but the experience that we can have with the technology, not just about the technology on its own. And that's so important.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's so many beautiful opportunities out there, and I think the more, again, I'll keep repeating that. I mean, I think I've said it 50 times up to now, but I really think it's about, I think there was a moment in time where even me with what I was doing in life and whatsoever, you feel like you have to hold on tight to it. It's like, oh, somebody's going to steal this or they're going to do that and that. And what's been so liberating for me with this new venture, it's that it's kind of the opposite effect. Of course, I had a mama bear moment with the hum where you're like, ah, everybody's going to copy it. But I'm at the point where it's like, no, nobody can copy that because that is, it exists. It's its own thing. However, let's keep encouraging people to get inspired by and to bring their own thought process into this and to do research also and to educate to the best of their capacity, be educated enough so that we're not harming people with it. That's really the only thing that kind of scares me a little bit with everything that's coming out on the market and the way perhaps sometimes people are seeing the new wave and, oh, now it's sound, let's go, we're all going to do sound. But what, 1 minute, it reminds me back in the days when the nightlife scene exploded, like in Vegas, and dance music was picking up, and then suddenly you would have people that had never even been part of that that world are like, I want to be in, and you're like, well, you had to be here 10 years ago too, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's not welcoming everybody, but I think it's more a matter of being humble with it and recognizing that this is indeed something that can be extremely positive and beautiful, but it has to be really done properly. Like, even when you consume something, or if you do those experiences and, on YouTube or different app, like, are they little fine lines also to read of the aftermaths or the side effects that this can do? Because it's I believe it's not for everybody. I think we need to start being a little bit more responsible as creators of those experiences, and owning that if I'm putting something online that everybody can access, better be sure that there's not somebody who's going to be triggered in the wrong way here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very wise and something so important to think about, as creators, as content creators, as technologists, to be aware of that effect. And I couldn't agree more, with technology, and everybody just wanted to jump on board with it. It's like, okay, we're all going to get in the game. We're all going
Yeah,
to
exactly. Let's
do
go.
this.
Everybody, right.
You see 1,000 half-baked clones of something that's good and beautiful and successful, and then 1,000 things that are little pieces of it but not quite right, and don't, they
Yeah.
just want to play off that popularity. And so certainly there's that danger as we push more into the sound and audio space. Yeah, I think it's a great place to start to wrap up this conversation. I think, I'm so fascinated by what you're doing with multidimensional sound and inviting a multidisciplinary community to be a part of it. For people that want to know more about Sound Connective and want to be connected and collaborate,
Yes.
what would you say? Who should they reach out to? How should they reach out?
I mean, soundconnective.com, which is an official website, just that, recaps a little bit what we've been talking about. Right there, there's like an email address where people can connect with us. And it is a beautiful opportunity right now, I guess, through this podcast to really send out a warm invitation to everyone that either feels a calling, regardless that it's to collaborate or to inquire, or that perhaps has lived, things with sound, or and would like to see how, sound can help them. We're more than happy to, get into conversations and to our best of our knowledge, at least like point people in directions if ever there's any interest in diving in more. And for the purpose of the company, obviously, and for the there's obviously, like I was saying, we are in chats right now with a couple of potential partner, which is very exciting. But we're also all ears to different options as well, because the goal is to deploy and to be in as many cities and in any like possible like communal spaces as possible, so that people can really benefit from it, even with you know different type of communities that goes from the schooling system to hospitality, to the transport industry as well. Those are three big ones that we're looking at right now.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jen, for being a part of this podcast, this first podcast with Internet of
Of
Senses
course.
Institute. Thank you for your inspirational work, for all the things that you're doing with Luscious, with Sound Connective. I so look forward to seeing more of what you're doing,
Yes.
and seeing the progress of these ideas and these concepts, and the positive impact that they will have on the way that we live, and our wellness and our health. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks to you. Really appreciate it.